Michael Franti here on Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. We're on the road in Albuquerque, New Mexico, headed to Silver City, and then tonight we'll be in Bisbee, Arizona, followed by tomorrow at 1 in Phoenix and in Tucson, and then tomorrow night in Phoenix. But right now, with less than 24 days before the 2012 general election, the two vice presidential candidates squared off in their only debate Thursday night on the campus of Center College in Danville, Kentucky. For about an hour and a half, the candidates aggressively challenged each other on foreign and domestic policy issues as they sat at a table with moderator Martha Raddatz of ABC News. Raddatz pressed them with questions on the deaths of Americans at the U.S. Embassy in Libya, taxes, Medicare, Social Security, the budget deficit, terrorism, and Afghanistan. She also asked each of the candidates, both of whom are Catholic, about how their personal beliefs affect their views on abortion. Well, today, Democracy Now! Brings you our second Expanding the Debate special. We first broke the sound barrier during the presidential debate in Denver by pausing after President Obama's and Mitt Romney's answers to get real-time responses from Jill Stein of the Green Party and Rocky Anderson of the Justice Party, both of those parties' presidential candidates. Well, today we do the same, but this time with their running mates. Cheri Honkala with the Green Party. She's the vice presidential nominee in the 2012 election. She's also national coordinator of the Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign. And Luis Rodriguez of the Justice Party is a noted Chicano writer and a gang expert and interventionist. His 15 published books include the best-selling 1993 memoir, Always Running, La Vida Loca, Gang Days in L.A., and its 2011 sequel, It Calls You Back, an odyssey through love, addiction, revolutions, and healing. He's co-founder of the Network for Revolutionary Change. Vice presidential candidates Luis Rodriguez and Cheri Honkala, we welcome them into the debate, but we will go to them in a moment. First, we begin with the debate moderator, Martha Raddatz.
The state of our economy. The number one issue here at home is jobs. The percentage of unemployed just fell below 8% for the first time in 43 months. The Obama administration had projected that it would fall below 6% now after the addition of close to $1 trillion in stimulus money. So will both of you level with the American people? Can you get unemployment to under 6%, and how long will it take?
I don't know how long it will take. We can and we will get it under 6%. Let's take a look at the facts. Let's look at where we were when we came to office. The economy was in free fall. We had the Great Recession hit. 9 million people lost their job. $1.6 trillion in wealth lost in equity in your homes and retirement accounts for the middle class. We knew we had to act for the middle class. We immediately went out and rescued General Motors. We went ahead and made sure that we cut taxes for the middle class. And in addition to that, when that occurred, what did Romney do? Romney said, no, let Detroit go bankrupt. We moved in and helped people refinance their homes. Governor Romney said, no, let foreclosures hit the bottom. But it shouldn't be surprising for a guy who says 47% of the American people are unwilling to take responsibility for their own lives. My friend recently in a speech in Washington said 30% of the American people are takers. These people are my mom and dad, the people I grew up with, my neighbors. They pay more effective tax than Governor Romney pays in his federal income tax. They are elderly people who, in fact, are living off of Social Security. There are veterans and people fighting in Afghanistan right now who are, quote, not paying any taxes. I've had it up to here with this notion that 47%, it's about time they take some responsibility here. And instead of signing pledges to Grover Norquist not to ask the wealthiest among us to contribute to bring back the middle class, they should be signing a pledge saying to the middle class, we're going to level the playing field. We're going to give you a fair shot again. We are going to not repeat the mistakes we made in the past by having a different set of rules for Wall Street and Main Street, making sure that we continue to hemorrhage these tax cuts for the super wealthy. They're pushing a continuation of a tax cut that will give an additional $500 billion in tax cuts to 120,000 families. And they're holding hostage the middle class tax cut because they say we won't continue the middle class tax cut unless you give the tax cut for the super wealthy. It's about time they take some responsibility.
Mr. Ryan.
Joe and I are from similar towns. He's from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I'm from Janesville, Wisconsin. You know what the unemployment rate in Scranton is today?
I sure do.
It's 10%.
Yeah.
You know what it was the day you guys came in? 8.5%.
Yeah.
That's how it's going all around America. Look.
You don't read the statistics. That's not how it's going. It's going down.
This is his 2-minute answer,
Look.
please.
Did they come in and inherit a tough situation? Absolutely. But we're going in the wrong direction. Look at where we are. The economy is barely limping along. It's growing at 1.3%. That's slower than it grew last year, and last year was slower than the year before. Job growth in September was slower than it was in August, and August was slower than it was in July. We're heading in the wrong direction. 23 million Americans are struggling for work today. 15% of Americans are living in poverty today. This is not what a real recovery looks like. We need real reforms for a real recovery, and that's exactly what Mitt Romney and I are proposing. It's a 5-point plan. Get America energy independent in North America by the end of the decade. Help people who are hurting get the skills they need to get the jobs they want. Get this deficit and debt under control to prevent a debt crisis. Make trade work for America so we can make more things in America and sell them overseas, and champion small businesses. Don't raise taxes on small businesses because there are job creators. He talks about Detroit. Mitt Romney's a car guy. They keep misquoting him, but let me tell you about the Mitt Romney I know. This is a guy who I was talking to, a family in Northborough, Massachusetts the other day, Cheryl and Mark Nixon. Their kids were hit in a car crash. 4 of them, 2 of them, Rob and Reed, were paralyzed. The Romneys didn't know them. They went to the same church they never met before. Mitt asked if he could come over on Christmas. He brought his boys, his wife, and gifts. Later on, he said, I know you're struggling, Mark. Don't worry about their college. I'll pay for it. When Mark told me this story, because you know what? Mitt Romney doesn't tell these stories. The Nixons told this story. When he told me this story, he said it wasn't the help, the cash help, it's that he gave his time, and he has consistently. This is a man who gave 30% of his income to charity, more than the 2 of us combined. Mitt Romney's a good man. He cares about 100% of Americans in this country. And with respect to that quote, I think the vice president very well knows that sometimes the words don't come out of your mouth the right way.
But I always say what I mean. And so does Romney.
We want everybody to succeed. We want to get people out of poverty, in the middle class, onto a life of self-sufficiency. We believe in opportunity and upward mobility. That's what we're going to push for in a Romney administration.
Luis Rodriguez, you're the vice presidential nominee for the Justice Party. Can you get unemployment under 6%, and how? Well, you have 2 minutes.
One, you cannot do it by relying on the old industrial basis of this country because it's gone. Technology has changed everything. The whole scenario has changed. Now you have what's called the Walmarting of America, where people who do work are underemployed and cannot survive with those jobs. Unrepresented, unorganized, and low paid. So what you have to do is think of a whole short range and long range. The short range would be do what was supposed to be done. Get jobs to build our country, the infrastructure, the buildings, get housing done by people, give people the hammers and nails and let them build this country from the bottom up. Give people the imagination so they can get into the technology and utilize it to really have meaningful jobs. In the long run, I do think it has to be structural changes. We have to restructure our economy so that everybody can work, everybody's passions can be their profession, and we have a whole different way of looking at jobs than the way that's constantly being done by both the Republicans and the Democrats.
Cheri Honkala, your response, vice presidential nominee for the Green Party.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank you, Amy, for having us on today and having this debate. What we would do is we would green the economy, making sure that we put jobs that would last for a long time, that would save our environment, and that would put people to work. We would also turn the unemployment centers into employment centers, and we would put homeless people to work, renovating abandoned houses. We have more abandoned houses than we have homeless people in this country. And we could do something by putting them to work.
We're going to turn back to Martha Raddatz, debate moderator in Kentucky.
Let's talk about Medicare and entitlements. Both Medicare and Social Security are going broke and taking a larger share of the budget in the process. Will benefits for Americans under these programs have to change for the programs to survive, Mr. Ryan?
Absolutely. Medicare and Social Security going bankrupt. These are indisputable facts. Look, when I look at these programs, we've all had tragedies in our lives. I think about what they've done for my own family. My mom and I had my grandmother move in with us who was facing Alzheimer's. Medicare was there for her, just like it's there for my mom right now, who's a Florida senior. After my dad died, my mom and I got Social Security survivors benefits. Helped me pay for college. It helped her go back to college in her 50s, where she started a small business because of the new skills she got. She paid all of her taxes on the promise that these programs would be there for her. We will honor this promise. And the best way to do it is reform it for my generation. You see, if you reform these programs for my generation, people 54 and below, you can guarantee they don't change for people in or near retirement, which is precisely what Mitt Romney and I are proposing. Look what Obamacare does. Obamacare takes $716 billion from Medicare to spend on Obamacare. Even their own chief actuary at Medicare backs this up. He says you can't spend the same dollar twice. You can't claim that this money goes to Medicare and Obamacare. And then they put this new Obamacare board in charge of cutting Medicare each and every year in ways that will lead to denied care for current seniors. This board, by the way, it's 15 people. The president's supposed to appoint them next year, and not one of them even has to have medical training. And Social Security, if we don't shore up Social Security, when we run out of the IOUs, when the program goes bankrupt, a 25% across-the-board benefit cut kicks in on current seniors in the middle of their retirement. We're going to stop that from happening. They haven't put a credible solution on the table. He'll tell you about vouchers. He'll say all these things to try and scare people. Here's what we're saying. Give younger people, when they become Medicare eligible, guaranteed coverage options that you can't be denied, including traditional Medicare. Choose your plan, and then Medicare subsidizes your premiums. Not as much for the wealthy people, more coverage for middle-income people, and total out-of-pocket coverage for the poor and the sick. Choice and competition. We would rather have 50 million future seniors determine how their Medicare is delivered to them instead of 15 bureaucrats deciding what, if, where, when they get it.
Vice President Biden, too.
You know, I heard that death panel argument from Sarah Palin. It seems every vice presidential debate I hear this kind of stuff about panels. But let's talk about Medicare. What we did is we saved $716 billion and put it back, applied it to Medicare. We cut the cost of Medicare. We stopped overpaying insurance companies, when doctors and hospitals. The AMA supported what we did. AARP endorsed what we did. And it extended the life of Medicare to 2024. They want to wipe this all out. It also gave more benefits. Any senior out there, ask yourself, do you have more benefits today? You do. If you're near the donut hole, you have $800, $600 more to help your prescription drug costs. You get wellness visits without copays. They wipe all of this out, and Medicare becomes insolvent in 2016. Number one. Number two, guaranteed benefit. It's a voucher. When they first proposed, when the congressman had his first voucher program, the CBO said it would cost $6,400 a year, Martha, more for every senior 55 and below when they got there. He knew that, yet he got all the guys in Congress and women in the Republican Party to vote for it. Governor Romney, knowing that, said, I would sign it were I there. Who you believe? The AMA? Me? A guy who's fought his whole life for this, or somebody who would actually put in motion a plan that knowingly added $6,400 a year more to the cost of Medicare. Now they got a new plan. Trust me, it's not going to cost you any more. Folks, follow your instincts on this one. And with regard to Social Security, we will not privatize it. If we had listened to Romney, Governor Romney, and the congressman during the Bush years, imagine where all those seniors would be now if their money had been in the market. Their ideas are old and their ideas are bad, and they eliminate the guarantee of Medicare.
Green Party Vice Presidential nominee Cheri Honkala, your approach to Medicare, its problems, and what you'll do about it.
First of all, we see health care as a basic human right. We see that everybody in America should have access to health care. We believe in the U.S. Single-payer health care, and we want to have Medicare for all in this country. We have enough to go around, and everybody should be guaranteed an opportunity to be healthy, productive citizens.
Medicare for all, what does that mean?
It means that we want a single-payer system. We think that everybody should be covered from rehabilitation, drug and alcohol programs, to operations, to their dental coverage covered, you name it. People should have quality health care in this country, and they should be guaranteed it, just like the Medicare system that we have. It should be expanded to cover everyone.
Luis Rodriguez, the vice presidential candidate of the Justice Party, your response.
Yeah, first of all, the whole medical system has to be taken out of the profit market, taken out of the market system. It's an essential, as Cheri said, it's something that everybody needs. We spend billions and billions of dollars wasting money just because people aren't being taken care of, the illnesses and the sickness they get at the back end, because we don't do enough to prevent, to help, to maintain, to give people the care they need. And I think this is something the government should essentially have to do, because it's got to be taken out of the hands of the insurance companies, out of the big hospitals. Health care costs, as you know, has gone astronomical. And then what we're asking the government is give me a little break out of something that's taken completely out of our hands. I think it does have to come back. Single payer, as everybody has said, extend Medicare to everybody, not just to the elderly, but extend it to every kid, every adult, every youth. Make sure that everybody has access to the great technological innovations there are in medicine, but also just to understand, our bodies are our medicine. We don't need to be given a lot of drugs, pharmaceutical companies throw things in there. We can just need help in making our own bodies heal, which requires good eating, good exercise, a sense of less stress, of living in a world that doesn't demand too much of you, but making sure that the government ensures this as an essential need, not just something that somebody should be able to go to a market and try to profit off of it like it's being done today.
We're expanding the debate, the only vice presidential debate in this election season. We go to break and then come back. This is Democracy Now! This is what democracy sounds like.